Welcome to the first episode of Manager Matt 10's resurgence into the coaching field, the coaching arena, if you will, of quote-unquote top flight football. I don't know. But definitely always a great experience for those of you guys that have seen his career try to blossom, I guess. A lot of potential, but not really hitting his stride in any capacity. Maybe QPR, maybe Fleetwood Town, but you know, as the headline says, consistently inconsistent. And you know, started off at Fleetwood Town, pretty solid starts for his debut as a coach, but unfortunately couldn't deal with the pressure of League Two play and just never recovered and was sacked, and then spent a little time at Wickham for the end of the season and really didn't, you know, anything come into play there, just an interim manager. Aston Villa then came calling in the Premier League of all places and just was not up to scruff at all, almost getting the club relegated, unfortunately. And then probably the best experience was QPR. Manager Matt 10 went to QPR, open mind, had great players. Charlie Austin, for one, was just prolific. Fortunately injured most of the time, but still. He also made some great signings. Scott Hogan, Yassi Zardes from the MLS. These players definitely looked fantastic with Manager Matt 10. Unfortunately, QPR decided to sack him, you know, pretty much at the end of the season. Not even able to get into another season with a full squad. He dealt with so many different injuries, etc. And that's the one that really hurt. And I remember I was on the live stream when that happened, and everybody saw that, and it just was pretty heartbreaking. But we moved on from there, and Sheffield United in FIFA 17, and you know, that was an experience. FIFA 17, unfortunately, just wasn't the game that really, you know, made me want to play it, and just strange things with it overall, and it just kind of hurt the experience. And so, you know, that's why I wanted a resurgence here. And if you guys don't know already, I've been tweeting this, but this is going to be a FIFA 16 career mode. And for those of you wondering why FIFA 16, this is FIFA 16 on the PC, so this is a whole nother experience, guys. It's got Stadium server, modding way, which just has, you know, ad boards, kits, boots, everything completely updated. And so, you know, FIFA 16 for me was probably the best experience in all my career modes, and I definitely want to relive that. The AI was the best for me, and so, you know, we're going back. And which club are we going to sign for? That's the big question there. Who's going to use us? We're going to go back to League One. Who's going to take us on? Will it be Rochdale, Rotherham, Shrewsbury, Southend United? Southend United. And I'll tell you why I picked Southend United. I remember using this team back in FIFA 12, and I thought, you know, this was a really fun team to use. They had a really good center midfielder named Tillman, and you know, Tillman apparently is still playing for the club, and I hadn't known this. I guess I'd checked in once or twice, but he still plays for the club, and I really liked using him in FIFA 12, and it was a lot of fun. And I thought to myself, you know, they've got some good history. You know, small little club over near the sea, as I understand it. They call themselves the Blues, which is, you know, nothing. You know, I'm a Fulham fan, so Chelsea is called the Blues, and it's nothing like that. So I'll have to kind of get used to calling them the Blues here, using Southend United. But still, either way, I feel really good about this squad. But I feel like I can also have a lot of room to rebuild. And the reason I say that is because here you'll look at the squad report, and these ages, they range from, you know, high 20s or late 20s rather to almost mid 30s. you know, we look at my right back and we saw my goalkeeper is probably the youngest on the starting lineup. Michael Turner, formerly with Norwich City, and 33 years old. Solid center back. I'm a big fan of him. You know, this is, I don't know who's going to stay around, but essentially this is the perfect club for manager Matt 10. There's no real sign that people are going to trust him. He's just put in charge of a club that has a good mix of players, but some of them are definitely on the end of their career side. Ryan Leonard, a fantastic defensive midfielder, 25 years old. Got to keep him. There's Mr. Michael Timlin, rather, and he's going to be the anchor of everything. I'm going to completely work through him. Michael Kitely, remember seeing him back when he played in the Premier League for Wolves. Marc-Antoine Fortuné, still around, 35 years old though. Simon Cox, 30 years old again. See, a really older group. And then we've got a goalkeeper, Ted Smith, 21-year-old. And we just kind of go down the list here. Stephen McLaughlin, 27. We don't have like players that are in their prime on this this team, and so it's going to be really interesting what I'm going to do with it. My first priority is going to look at striker. Got to get a young guy, pacey guy out there, because I'm going to change the formation as well. I'm going to see if we can work with the kind of a 4-5-1 and just build it from there, and just kind of keep a good sense of attack and defense with the midfielders that I have. I'm going to try to keep the wingers out wide as much as I can, make the center backs very aggressive in their interceptions, and just really try to dominate at home, and then steal points away in the away matches. Again, we play on world class for home matches, legendary for away matches. So here I'm looking at moving some players around, like I said, but more importantly, I also spent some time here on the offseason sending a loan offer over to Jonathan Clark-Harris, a pretty decent striker, 23-year-old, 64 overall. Considering my age group right now, I could definitely use a striker like him, and he's accepted the loan offer, and only £1,000 for the wage, and so I'll take that. Also went after Everton's Ademola Lookman, and Lookman, kind of a shorter player, 5'9", but feel good about him. 3K on the wage there, and I'll just take it, leave myself $1,000, see if he'll accept that offer. And it looks like he did get accepted there, so Lookman is coming over to be a blue. Southend United, we're going to go ahead and accept that. Definitely leaves us $1,000 left, like I said, and that is a-okay. I'm totally fine with that. In addition, we've still got some scouts. Abdullahi could consider it, but 6K, I don't think we're going to go after this one as we prepare for the first match, which will be in the next episode, guys. But let's take a look at our lineup, which will definitely get changed now. And we've moved Lookman, and we're also going to move Mr. Johnson Clark-Harris into the subs there. Some players making way, in particular Fortuné. May even consider trying to find a spot for Fortuné. Just really not sure where, because I like Robinson too as a young striker. So I'm going to go ahead and just keep it how it is. And, this is going to be the lineup. Timlin's going to play right behind Cox, and Clark-Harris will come in for Cox when he can, and Robinson will come in for Clark-Harris, or if I need to switch up the formation. Kitely will also get subbed out when Lookman comes in, so things are definitely looking good for us. 2 signings right before the first match, and they can both play, so can't beat that. And, looking at the table, of course, nothing means anything yet, but a lot of teams, 24 teams, try to stay above that relegation zone, make a push for the playoff, top 6. Let's see what happens, guys. In the next episode, you're going to see us play that first match against Scunthorpe. It's going to be a legendary because it's an away match. Hope you guys enjoyed this first episode. As always, take care, stay tuned. With 1.03, the animations were a little bit more solid, allowing us to put in the lower sprint. The problem applying that kind of lower sprint into the 1.06, 1.07 title updates is that it really